everybody. Welcome back to Sign the Traitors, brought to you by Silent Podcast, where anything but silent. I'm your host, Katie. I'm here with my co-host, Isaiah, and we're here to talk about Season 4, Traitors US, episodes 4 and 5. I was like, oh, I almost got it. But 4 and 5. How's it going, Isaiah?
It's going well. Interesting episodes of the Traitors for sure. Listen, my Twitter, and I know you're not on Twitter anymore. Twitter has been flooded.
Tell me what the Twitter streets are saying. And I thank you for holding on the fort for me last week because I was traveling, so I wasn't able to make it. And I'm dying to hear what you think. What is the general vibe on Twitter? I know what the Blue Sky vibe is, which I know doesn't always match the Twitter vibe. Often does not, in fact, match the Twitter vibe. So tell me.
The Twitter vibe is like, okay, everybody's kind of upset with the boot order for sure. Everyone, like, that's a consensus.
Yes.
Colton, and I don't know if you want to talk about this now or later, the Colton and Michael Rappaport argument is so split in half. There's people who are like, all right, Michael Rappaport did obviously say something homophobic, so like, F him, whatever, right? Then there's the people who are like, no, Michael is right. Colton is weaponizing himself. F Colton. And then there's the people who are like, Michael and Colton both suck, but Colton weaponized that stuff, and Michael is also a weirdo. So it's just like chaos all around. And then now like a lot of television alumni are getting involved and like saying near piece. I saw that Derek Frazier, Heisem, Tommy Bracco, and
Jimmy.
Somebody else. And
Jimmy.
Yes, yeah. Like it's. I've seen Tiffany's been very vocal about Colton, and so it's chaos all around the Twitter streets right now. So I dabble, So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's only the Twitter opinion. I think that's the general consensus across the Traitors fandom. And I'm in Chat BCC, or whatever it's called, and I actually forgot that they, of course, are going to be talking about the Traitors. So I went through yesterday and I was reading, and there's drama in there too. Like Sandra's getting in the mix, Janelle's getting in the mix. Colton left the Chat BCC group before the episodes, or like right around when the episodes came out. So it's Colton just like Tiffany's in there. Yeah, Colton left, Tiffany's in there, Jam's in there, and they're kind of going at it with each other, not necessarily only about this, but just like in general. Yeah. It's not for me to say whether, I'm not going to take offense. I think I don't have a real stance on the Michael comment. I think Michael is a problematic human being, period. So whether he meant it to be problematic or homophobic or not, I think anybody is going to just assume that was the intention because of who he is and how he is in real life anyway. So he just made a very bad decision. He said a very bad, he just stepped in it. He stepped in it, whether he meant it or not. But Colton is not a fragile little flower. Colton is also a shithead, and they both suck. I mean, I felt like I'm that meme of the guy like deciding which button to push, and it's just like fuck Colton, fuck Michael. Like it's both of them for me. Fuck them both. But this season is just truly chaos. And I think the people that are coming to Colton's defense in the show, specifically Johnny. I mean, I don't know a lot about Johnny necessarily, but I read a lot of the allegations and stuff about him when we talked about it on our draft podcast, is also problematic. So it's like, everybody's got their stuff. You guys are all pointing fingers about different things. If people are saying they're not offended for one reason or another, I'm not one to say like you're right or you're wrong. I just think he made a very poor choice with his verbiage in that moment, because they were going to jump on him no matter what it was.
Oh yeah, listen, Michael was cooked regardless. Sorry if you guys see my arm wave. I have a dog who won't leave me alone. I kept saying off rip, I'm like, Michael's cooked regardless, because like it's going to come down to a point where he's obviously such a distraction. I think Rob said this when he was in the house, and I've been saying this: a bad faithful is equally as bad as a traitor. So he needed to go. I think this wasn't a bad move at all. I will say, I didn't really digest what he was saying in the stance of like outside the game. I thought he was talking strictly game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I do think Colton kind of took it to a place where I was just like, I don't know. But it went whatever direction it went. Obviously, it happened. I don't know how it's going to affect the grand scale of what happens in the rest of the game, but obviously it's bled outside the game, and it's going on now. So I think both of them were just liabilities in this instance, and hey, chaos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think this whole season so far, since I didn't get a chance to talk about the first couple episodes, like it's just feels different than the last few seasons. It feels a little more toxic, and obviously the casting has everything to do with that, but then also some of the twists, the secret traitor twist I didn't love. I think some of the what you and I had hoped for happened, obviously, where we have no gamers in the turret. So if that in general makes it a little bit more chaotic than I think it normally would, because the gamers are getting chopped right off the block at the first second that they get. So it's interesting. I think the boot order is really disappointing. Not only the murders, I think the banishments as well, because we're losing a lot of the entertainment, and we're going to be left with the Taras and the Johnnies and the Erics and the people that aren't exactly fun to watch. So I'm disappointed about that, even if there's people that I'm not necessarily rooting for in the game. I'm fine with Michael leaving. I think he had his moment. I am not a Michael Rappaport fan, but, and we'll talk about it as we get into the episodes, he was making some points over the last, especially in episode 5. I think the way he communicated them was completely wrong, but he was not wrong about Colton being the ringleader. Like, he's not wrong about that, but because he is who he is and because he's been so obnoxious since day one, like no one's going to listen to him anyway. So he may as well just go.
He was wild, obviously. I will say we did lose some entertainment because he brought a lot of chaos. Like he reminded me of God, who else? What's his name? The guy from last season that with the black hair. I keep forgetting his name. He's from that show that you watched that you did not like. I don't remember his name. Regardless, he's on House of Villains this season. Whatever his name is.
Tom Sandoval. Yeah.
He reminded me of him, where he's just like, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I like dopey people. I don't care about him, but in the grand scale of the show, he did bring something. I do fear with someone like Michael here, even though he was very bad at the game, he did bring the aspect of confrontation when rumors were going around. And I did think that helped a lot with conversations, especially like going towards certain people that we like. Obviously, we've seen like Lisa starting to get like brought up and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do fear with the people left in the game, because I'm unaware of a lot of these people. We haven't had a lot of camera time with half of this cast. I feel like a lot of them are just going to float in the background and not do anything. And it's very alarming. I think a lot of people who would have done something are dead, and it's just like, we lost Portia, we lost Rob, we lost Tiffany, we lost Monet, we lost Michael. We lost a lot of the vocal people very early on, and it's very scary to see. And I don't know. I'm very afraid for the future of the season. I don't know about you, but I'm very concerned.
No, I agree. And it almost feels like season 2, I felt like this is where we totally went off the right path with Traitors, when Dan was banished, and then Phaedra and Dan were going at it with each other, and it just became like the Peter Pals show. I fear that this is, it's already the Colton show. Michael called them Colton's killers, and he is, I think, the most blatant ringleader that we've seen so far, because he's so loud. Like, Dylan would do it behind the scenes a little bit, or at least be a little bit more like subtle about it. Same with Peter, but Colton's just like literally, and we'll talk about it as we get into the episodes a little bit more deeply, but like running from room to room to room to like whip votes in his favor. And it's like, you being the last one standing at the end isn't what wins this game unless you're a traitor. So you're loud and wrong. And you've been loud and wrong basically since you've been on television for the first time. And what bothers me the most, and again, we'll get into it, is that everybody is still on Ron from the first episode, when Portia not put her foot in her mouth one time, she did it like 3 times in front of other people. Like, that's not Ron's fault. He didn't make those things up. Maybe he didn't share them early on enough, or didn't share them with the right people, but she did all of those things. And she said something at the round table in that moment when she was defending herself that I don't remember exactly what it was at the time, but that made suspicion go toward her. And they're still thinking Ron's a traitor because of that. And Colton continues to just be loud and wrong, loud and wrong, loud and wrong. convince every single person to vote with him, and he's wrong 2 times in a row, and no one seems to be upset with that, and he just keeps going, and poor Ron is stuck like sitting in rooms not talking to anybody and being the odd man out because nobody wants to include him in conversations because he was wrong in day one, when you really have nothing to go on, and he had some pretty hard evidence.
It's also like, why are we not revisiting Portia calling Candace out for, you know what I'm saying?
Hello.
A lot of people on social media have been saying, and I don't agree with this to a degree. They think that like the Traitors are going to win the season. I don't know yet, because I think the Housewives are kind of going to struggle because of themselves. I don't think the Traitors, outside of like maybe Rob, are actually that good, because I think the moment Lisa gets any kind of controversy, like she's cooked once they interrogate her.
Yeah,
I feel the same for Candace. She's very messy. I'm not gonna lie. Like they've been messy.
She's very messy.
So I don't know what to make of them, because they haven't really had to do anything. The faithful have been so bad this season that the Traitors haven't had to do anything at all, because the faithful are literally just throwing their finger at Ron every vote and then not voting him out. It's crazy.
Right.
I don't know what to do, but it's hard to watch.
I know that, and I say it every season, and like the US Traitors is very different in nature than all the other international seasons of the Traitors, because these people have history, they're on TV, they know each other, they're already famous, some level of fame. So it's just different the way they play. But this season especially, it just feels like, and I don't want to quote Michael in a positive way, just generally, but he said something in the last episode where he said there's a lot of ringleaders in here and there's a lot of not ringleaders in here. And they're getting rid of the people who all have the possibility or even just like the potential to lead a vote or be strategic. And that's why I think the Traitors are just going to walk their way to the end, because they're getting rid of all the smart people, which is partially credit to the Traitors, but is also partially credit to how bad these faithfuls are.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Tiffany vote was rough. I guess we could just get into it. So let's just get into these episodes. So episode 4, we pick up with the cliffhanger of the last chunk of episodes where they have to murder someone who's tied up in the tree. So as a reminder, Caroline, Kristen Kish, Eric, and then Ron, and then theoretically Rinna are tied up against the tree, but obviously we know Rinna's not getting murdered because she's a traitor. We talked a little bit. I wrote some questions down. I want to ask you, like, what do we think of the Traitors games so far up until this point? But maybe let's wait until we get a little deeper in, because I feel like so much of it also, you can't even really evaluate it because they were working off of such a short list that Donna Kelsey was giving them, that it almost like wipes the slate clean to me, because they really couldn't make a decision. They had some decision-making power, but they were very limited in the decision-making power that they had because they had to just pick from this really short list.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that they're killing the gamers for themselves, but it's just a little, I don't know, just feels very obvious to me.
No, they picked the perfect people to kill, because honestly, the only people who could have figured this out are gone. You know what I'm saying? Or not even figured out, but at least had any kind of instinct to at least try to navigate the vote in a direction to at least figure it out. Like, even I don't think Portia knew what she was talking about, or Caroline, or even Monet, but I feel like they had at least the ability at some point to at least try to like control something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like a lot of the people remaining are followers. Like, what is Mark doing in this show? Like, I don't even know Johnny.
Literally, what is Mark doing?
I don't know what Johnny's doing. Dorinda is just here, to be honest with you. Like, even like I think Natalie's playing it extremely safe too, to a degree. It's just like, I don't really. I forgot Steven was even on the show half the time too. Like, like I don't really know what a lot of these people are doing. Like, we see like Kristen and like, I guess Colton to a degree, like trying, but like it's not going anywhere, right? So, back to your question in terms of like, you said, how do I rank the Traitors?
Yeah, or just like, what do you think of their game so far? But I guess again, like, is it even fair to rank them yet at this point? Because this is their first kill that they're able to do on their own.
I can. I think Rob is doing perfectly fine, because all he has to do is just not say anything. I think he got too involved during the Michael thing, but again, all Rob has to do is just not say anything, because no one's ever going to suspect this random Love Island guy to be anything. I don't think me personally, I'm not too impressed with like Candace or Lisa, because I don't think, I feel like they're trying to do too much. Lisa's already about to get caught up. now that Michael's gone. And I don't know how she's going to face with adversity because I feel like she's going to spaz just like Michael spazzed and then completely turn everyone off. Even like, and we'll talk about Tiffany. I feel like she can do the Tiffany thing where like you're just putting a lot of people off and they're just going to want to vote you out. I can see Lisa doing that. And then Candace, I feel like she has promise. She just needs to do what Rob is doing because I really feel like if Candace just chills and does nothing like Sari did, she will be just fine. Like I don't think anyone thinks Candace is a traitor. She just needs to like stop trying to do too much. Just like back off. Like why are you willingly allowing the people who want to work with you go home? Like no, like let these other traders, like let Rob and Lisa, and sorry if I'm yapping, she needs to let Rob and Lisa dig their own graves instead of trying to protect them. Vice versa, Rob. Like I don't know why Rob is trying to protect them unless like you guys are truly trying to like split the money 3 ways, and that's so boring. Like I like money. I would try. Like people are pointing out other traders, let them because they're not saying me. Like let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. There's a lot of missed opportunity, and it's safe right now. This is a very safe group of traders. I don't feel like they want to take any big dips because there's nobody that is a gamer in here. So they're all at like the same game level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they were playing a little harder as traders when the secret trader was there because it was like, oh, we have to either try and figure out who the secret trader is to get them to work with us, or we have to try and figure it out so they can go and we can still be on the same page. And granted, it's only been a couple episodes, 2 episodes since, but I do feel like they were playing a little harder when the secret trader was there. And now they can take a little bit of a step back and try and figure out like how they're going to mesh with each other. I think Candace is doing a good job acting like a faithful. Like she really is playing those roundtables like a faithful. And I think the traders get themselves into a situation where they just like don't do anything like Lisa's doing. And I think that's why people know the housewives are outspoken, right? So especially Lisa Rinna, if you know Lisa Rinna from the Housewives, they are clocking her exactly right because she does have a huge personality and she's saying nothing at those roundtables. So that is very suspicious. Plus the sunglasses thing is a little bit weird. That's also a conversation that was happening in chat BCC or whatever that app is called. Because even Sandra was like, that should be against the rules. Like I should be able to see your eyes at all times. You should not be able to wear sunglasses, which is fair. You shouldn't. So maybe they'll change that next season. But I do think Candace is I like that she's not being too chaotic and sticking with Ron. That's a very like faithful thing to do. I think she's speaking up at some of the right times at the round table and then defending people at a specific time. But I think she's going to need to figure out at some point all of the people who are going to trust her are going to be out of the game. And then if she does get into a position where either it's her versus Rob has more allies than she has at this point, or if they need to recruit, who's she recruiting? With all of her people gone, who knows? But maybe her and Rob will stick together. I really don't know. I think Rob's number one seems like it's Maura because she trusts him 100% because he's the only person that she knows. And I don't think Rob should stick with, as Michael called them, the hunks.
I don't think it's a mistake because I think it's easily like putting him in the light of a faithful right now, just like Candace. I do think it would be to his benefit though if he kind of like branched out to like these other people and spoke to them more, or like I honestly feel like Rob's best play is not putting all his eggs in anybody's basket. Like I feel like he's either putting it all in the hunks or like all in the traders. Like honestly, I can see the housewives turning on Rob, and I can also see him sinking with the guy ship. Like he needs to honestly do his own thing. Like he needs to like. What was he a part of the conversation with Kristen and Mark, or was that somebody else? That might have been Eric actually.
I think,
but regardless,
yeah, that was Eric.
It was Eric. Yeah, he needs to go with them. I think that he would do very well with them, and they are obviously like sussing Lisa, and like he needs to go with the oddballs who aren't saying anything. Like I think Rob fits perfectly there. He needs to stop being so over here and over. You need to spread out.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. I think that would be a good group for him because he can come in. They're going to do a lot of the thinking. He can like go along with them if he needs to. He doesn't have to otherwise. But I think if he sticks with like the Colton and the Steven's not going to say anything. And Colton's going to say a lot. And then it's just going to put like a negative mark on anybody that's close to Colton, I think, at that point. So, and I don't think the logic is wrong from Michael saying like one of those dudes is probably a traitor. Like it's got to be at this point. So we'll see. It's interesting. But we get to breakfast in episode 4, and we learn that Caroline is dead. Rest in peace, Caroline. Rinna, you bitch. She's killed. Not going to see her at BravoCon. I don't feel bad about it. Not sad. How do we feel? I think the murder of a fellow housewife was not the worst thing.
I thought that was a very smart girl because I
Yeah,
think it took
I
them
think so
off their,
too.
at least their scent to some degree. Because I don't, based off of history, they usually all stick together. Like I think Dorinda is still in this fantasy land where
I
it's
think so too.
housewife strong and stuff. Like I think that was a great kill.
Yeah, I think so too. And in the breakfast, Monet brings up the strategy to just ask the question about the stories. And Monet does try and trip up Lisa and say, "Oh, the guy that had the gold mask," and she was like, "It was black." And Rinna did a good job. She seemed like she was like gonna get tripped up a little bit, but then she got herself together. She's like, "I just need some tea or water," and then she told the story very detailed. They still are suspicious about poor Ron. I feel bad for Ron. I don't like to see anybody as like the odd person out. I like a villain and I like menace, but this feels a little bit mean. And I don't really know why.
But like Ron is just genuinely horrible at the game too. It's just
definitely
like
horrible at the game.
it's hard for me to feel bad for someone who is actively making his position worse. Like honestly, Ron needs to just like get in good with people or just like shut up. Like he's like, I heard light steps, so it's got to be this person. Or like, I have a hunch. Like, why do you keep throwing sus at people and
Right.
you're wrong? Like, it reminds me of Quentin a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh my God,
stop,
Quentin.
like
Flashback.
throwing sus at people because Quentin worked with freaking Cody and Zareen in the
Right.
Like, Ron is worse because he's not working with any traders, which you want to
He's not
do
working
if
with
you're in the
anybody.
bottom, and you're throwing sus at other faithfuls. Like he's playing horrible. He seems like a very nice guy. But like, why are you calling out Dorinda? Like I'm that's why, as you say, like I feel bad for him, but he's making his spot go from bad to worse to like in the ground. Like it's very hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. And I think they're being, I don't know. I don't think they're giving him a break. I think it was like the first day he had some solid evidence. I think the biggest mistake he made was not sharing it when it happened and only sharing it at the roundtable. So I think he's trying to like course correct a little bit, but maybe he's doing a little too much course correcting and then just like throwing things out that make no sense and then like saying it to Dorinda's face, which we'll get to. But I don't know. I feel for Ron. I think he's just trying to play and they're really not letting him play and he's doing a bad job at playing and like no matter what he does he can't. It just feels like
they're letting him play.
You should vote him out. Just vote him
out.
out.
That's what I'm
just
saying.
Vote him out.
Just like Michael Rappaport. What one, like he's a bad faithful and it's not like they are actively keeping this guy in the game. Like like shame on them and then shame on him because it's like you guys are not doing anything to make your spot any better, bro. Like please fix yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad.
It's rough.
It's bad, bro.
At that breakfast, Kristen is the last one to come in, and then Yam Yam asks her a question and says, like, how long was the ceremony? And then Tiffany hears that, and she's like, why did Jam Jam say ceremony? Like, why would he say that? And Dorinda was like, well, I would call it a ceremony. And she's like, you know, a traitor would call it a ceremony. And then Tiffany very squarely says, it's Jam Jam, it's Michael, and it's Ron. Those are the 3 traitors. This is what I was worried about with Tiffany, is that she was going to come in strong. This is what we said in our draft podcast, is that she's a strategist. She's going to be a voice. She's going to have a lot to say. And that's going to be seen by someone weak-minded like Colton as a threat or a traitor. And they're going to be threatened by her personality. And unfortunately, after breakfast, that is what we find out, is that Colton is coming hard for Tiffany. There's still some Ron conversation. There's like a group trying to form a majority, which is another thing I hate on Traitors. Like I hate this, everybody planning the vote before they come into the table and wanting to just like group vote on someone. Like let the round table play out, present your evidence, have the conversation, and then decide where to vote. But don't come in with a vote already planned. Like it's like a house vote on Big Brother that's decided even like before the veto, and then the rest of the week is useless. That's kind of how it feels this season too on Traitors. Like I really hate that groupthink, and it's happening all over the place this season.
Well, I'm gonna be straight up. I think Tiffany got outplayed by two people. Well, one, the Traitors made their first two kills excellently because I
Yep,
feel like Tiffany would have only been pouring this information into Rob and Ian
totally.
if they were still here. She literally straight up said multiple times those are the two people she wanted to work with. And they're gone, so she has no one else to really trust, and she's trying to find that, but she's just telling too many people. But
Mhm.
also, she's getting outplayed by production because, again, if I was in this house, and this goes for any Survivor and Big Brother people, the last 3 seasons, it's always been at least one Big Brother and one Survivor person. She's the last Big Brother person. She's like, I know
Yeah,
I'm not a traitor, so it's got to be Jam Jam or Natalie. She probably thinks it's Jam Jam.
right.
Rob thought it was Jam Jam. Like, I get it.
Hmm.
This cast of CBS people is paying for production, making the same exact people traitors for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And it was naturally always going to get them in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It sucks, but hey, it had to happen. Hopefully next season, if there's another celebrity one, we don't see them all get slaughtered because now that stigma's gone. But
Right.
it sucks to see.
It definitely sucks to see, and I think it's a really good point. And if these people think about it that way, I think the meta game is saying, of course, it would be one of the gamers. It's just unfortunate that I think Colton, like I said, I think he's a little bit weak-minded, and I think he probably hates a strong woman. And that is Tiffany. So I think he was always going to be probably first, either her or Natalie. But Natalie to me is so obviously a faithful at this point that I don't think he would go for her. Maybe he will next week. Who knows? But it seems like he's going for Lisa. At this point, another woman, he's coming after her. So we will see what happens with that. But not surprised about Colton. I just think it's unfortunate.
His selections is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. Like, I feel like Tiffany had a lot to offer. Well, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
fine. Joseph in the chat has said maybe 17 times already that Andy Cohen wants the Housewives to win. And Andy Cohen's not a producer on this season, my friend, or on this show. So just letting you know, he only hosts the reunion. So he has no control over this. Just putting it out there. I love the conspiracy theories, but this one is wrong. And I'm not an Andy Cohen stan. I just want to address it because it's been said many times.
Okay.
Anyway, so everybody starts sharing the news now on the way to the mission that it's going to be Tiffany. And Candace is like, I don't want that. I don't like that. I like Tiffany. I think she's smart. Don't be sorry. And I like Tiffany. I want to work with her. But everybody's kind of spreading the news like wildfire. The other thing that happens at the mission is right before Monet says to Candace that he's suspicious of Lisa. So that wrong person to say it to. Unfortunate that Monet trusted Candace and then shared information, good information, correct information, but shared it with a traitor. So that to me also tells me that Candace is playing a good game because people are trusting her. The faithfuls are trusting her, but we'll see how it goes.
I think she's playing a good game, but I don't think she should have thrown Monet under the bus. Like, I think that would have been a good, like, what, I don't remember the
Keep it in
girl's
your
name, but
pocket.
yeah, like when Phaedra was a traitor, she had her friend from the other show who trusted her no
Yep.
matter what. Like, you need
Right.
those people. You
Sheree,
can't just
yeah.
throw them. Yeah, like
Yeah.
once Lisa gets sus on her, it's like, Candace, unless you like put your game out there to like protect her, like, what are you gonna do? Like, Monet could have been an
Right.
easy recruit. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
Monet would have been a great recruit. And I think
yeah,
the issue is with Lisa Rinna, if you watch her in Housewives, you really can't trust her and she will turn on you. So Candace shouldn't put all her trust in the other two traders. And someone like Tara, who they even said earlier, like, she's so sweet, but she has no idea what's going on. Like, she's not going to be a good trader ally for you. Obviously, everybody also is thinking that she doesn't really know what's going on. So if you were to recruit her or you need someone to go to bat for you, she is not a person that seems like her opinion holds much weight. You need someone with a voice like Monet. So it is unfortunate that she decided to share that. So I think that was a bad move from Candace. She's like too blindly loyal to the traders at this point.
yeah,
I think that will probably be her downfall.
yeah,
But she's playing a good faithful game. Like, I don't think she's going to get found out by the faithfuls. I think it's going to be trader on trader violence that gets Candace.
yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So this mission, basically they have to run through the woods, find spears that are like marked by dolls hanging in the tree, bring the spear to the fire pit and throw it into everybody's shielded and they have to throw it into like a thing that marks who the person is, and then that takes their shield away. So they have to strategize or in groups and then decide who they want to take the shield away from. So, of course, Tiffany's shield gets taken away. Monet's shield gets taken away. Ron's shield gets taken away. Michael, Tara, Steven, Lisa, Mora, Johnny, and Jam Jam. Jam Jam is the last one, and Jam Jam gets very emotional about it. There were a few really funny moments in this, and I feel like I need to keep repeating myself because I'm not pro Michael Rappaport. Please watch our draft podcast.
He's funny.
But he's funny. When he threw the thing and just kept screaming Tara's name, it was funny. He screamed her name like 5 times. It was funny. Tiffany marching to get back at Monet. She like literally did a march with the spear. It was so funny. Alan gave me a funny joke when Rob picked up Mora and threw on her back. He said, "What about Dorinda? She hasn't had a ride in a while," and then smirked at the camera. That made me laugh. Thank you, Alan. But what do you think about this challenge? I never love the mission, so these are not my favorite.
I usually unfortunately I'm watching these live now. I usually was the person to skip ahead of them, but not this one, but the next one seemed like it had some impact. So I think obviously the addition of shields make it interesting now. Like I don't skip anymore. It's whatever. I think they spend entirely way too much time on these challenges, but at this point, all reality TV does that.
Episode. Yeah.
Like there's no avoiding it at this point. I can't even complain about it anymore. All these shows do it. Less time on it. I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about your big whatever. Get back to the show.
I know it's good, like scrolling your phone time and then just look up at the end and see who's eligible to get murdered. What I don't love necessarily, like, I just want everybody to be eligible for murder because it takes away. I know the traitors have so much more power in the game, but it does take a lot away. And especially because we have the secret traitor for the first 3 episodes who was building short lists of people, it does feel like they at least deserve one mission where anybody's up for grabs. So it's a little disappointing that like immediately they only have some people that are eligible. And then especially in the next episode, we don't even know if they can murder or not, but we'll get there. Just like let them do a murder. Let them just murder anybody.
I was telling Janelle, I think it would be more interesting and entertaining for the challenges for there to be some incentive for like the traders to not win and then they get more money than everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be fun. But
I wouldn't hate it.
I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. After the mission, Tiffany immediately tells Mora that Ron called her out as a potential traitor. She's pissed. Eric is doing something that is pissing me off, and he's not the only person in the season that's doing it, but I'm going to need these people to stop holding information for the roundtable and start talking ahead of time, because Eric tells us at breakfast that when he was tied to the tree, he heard a laugh, and he didn't even tell us in the confessional, and I understand that it was a dramatic moment at the roundtable, but he didn't even tell us who he thought it was, and then they're asking him in the car, who are you going to vote for? And he's like, I don't know. And it's like, aren't you here? Like, this is part of the game. The game is not just the mission in the roundtable. Like, play the game, have the conversations, share the information. It's bothering me.
Listen.
Like, Ron did it. He did it. None of them are sharing the information.
I would be upset about it, right? But like, listen, like it's not bad because one thing that people always say is that you're not just playing against the cast, you're playing against production. How insane would it have been if he goes to the round table and calls out a traitor correctly? Boom! Like I respect the attempt, but what a flunder that was. It was so bad. Like we'll talk about that later. But what a L, like Eric. Like what the hell are you doing? You know, like I appreciate the attempt at entertainment and innovation, and like I'm not mad at it at all, but just like what a flop. Like that was so bad.
It was bad, and it led to like an interesting moment at the roundtable where it was like a dramatic reveal, so I'm not mad about that, but I feel like the theme of this season is one person puts a name out and then everybody piles on a name, or there's 2 names out, but no one's actually playing other than like whoever's leading the charge, and no one's really like poking for information, sharing information. Like you said it earlier, why is nobody picking up on the Candace thing? Then she went after Portia and made up a total lie. Especially, I don't know, Michael didn't say anything about it. You would think he would be one because he was caught up in the middle of it that would have brought it back up after the fact. It's just strange, especially if Portia, everybody thought she was a traitor because of Ron's evidence, and then she ended up being a faithful. Wouldn't you then immediately look at Candace? But they're just like, I don't know. It just feels like they're not playing. It's just getting a little frustrating.
And you also gotta remember they're already auto assuming that it's Ron and Michael. Like I'm telling you, this
Yeah.
house had their minds made up already.
That's
And
sort
they
of
were
my
just
point, is
voting.
that they're
Yeah.
just landing on a thing and then they're not thinking about it after that thing is proven right or wrong, which is why I think if they never land on Rob or never land on Candace, they're going to have an easy path to the end unless they go after each other.
Well, there's not like outward detectives like outside like Kurt, Kristen, and like Colton to a degree. Outside of them, like everyone else is kind of just like voting who they don't like it's Big Brother or
Right.
something. It's
Exactly.
like, where's the let's find out who the traitor is of it all? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They'll get
Natalie
rid of
to
those
a
people
degree,
out.
so
Sort
yeah,
of. Yeah. I think she was a little
she's
distracted by
yeah,
Michael.
yeah.
I think, unfortunately, Rob Sesternino would have been the traitor hunter of the season, and he got done dirty by.
We got robbed.
We got robbed. No
Literally.
pun intended. We got robbed. We really did. And I know I wasn't here to talk about it last week, but like, kudos to Rob. Shout out to Rob, especially for just like immediately picking up on that murder in plain sight. Like, imagine if we got to see him play this whole game and take
Been
down these
great.
traitors. It would have been great to see.
Yeah.
Bummer. So anyway, it becomes Ron versus Tiffany again after the mission. Natalie tries to talk to Ron. She says, like, "Are you a traitor? Are you faithful?" And he pretty much just says, like, he's not an always on person. But you know, off is a detriment in this game, and he really didn't realize how much of a detriment it was going to be. And it's just like, dude, it really is a detriment. Like, you got to do something to switch it up. Bolt Corpse in the chat said Michael's the worst eater. This is also where Michael is shoveling food into his face. He literally has the plate in his mouth, shoveling the food into his face with the plate in his mouth. I'm like, how are you? It's like almost like he made a funnel out of it. Like, the logistics of it are confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
How are you putting a plate in your mouth, putting in food and eating the food with the plate in your mouth? Unless you're just swallowing the food whole and not even closing your mouth when you do so. Like, I just don't understand the logic.
Bolt Corp said it. Michael's the worst eater ever.
Like, I don't understand.
Joseph said he's like a damn thing.
But he also holds his cup with two hands and he's drinking with two hands. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like, are you okay?
Production hated this guy. Like,
hated
they did him so dirty.
Hated him.
They did him so dirty, but like, hey. Yeah, it was bad. That's my biggest fear, to like get all the ugly shots. Like, they made sure to get that specific shot in there. Like, out of everything he did, they wanted him eating like that, which is so wild.
Well, you have to. If you catch someone on camera eating like that, like, no person on earth has ever eaten before. Like, what is happening here? You have to put it on TV. It
must have been some good food.
I hope someone asks him about it in their exit interview with him. I don't know if they came out yet, but
if he even does, is he doing exit interviews?
I don't know.
I'll be shocked if he said no. He seems like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, we'll see. Unless he wants to just trash Colton publicly as many times as he can, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I will be. Listen, I'm here for the show. Okay.
Same. Me too. So we get Ron, Mark, Maura, Tiffany. All of them are talking. They're trying to just decide between Ron, Mark, who they're voting out. Colton comes in. This is when Colton's running around from room to room trying to like whip votes against Tiffany. And he just comes in and he's just like saying Tiffany just wants to be in control. She wants to control the vote order. He throws her under the bus to Jam in the kitchen. And they're like, stay locked on Tiffany. We got to stay locked on Tiffany. We're going for Tiffany. And it's like, dude, she said one thing that you didn't like, or there's something about her personality that you didn't like. So you have to like just fully lock on to her. It just feels, I don't know. I don't really know what he was doing there. And Candace is like, this is the exact same thing that happened with Portia, which is, I think, more good, faithful masking from Portia here, is that she's like, this is what we did and we got ourselves in trouble. Remember, like, we don't always have to go what the person says. And I feel like that's very faithful, like, gameplay from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of logic outside of just like
zero
gut instinct that it has to be Tiffany. So, there.
Yep. Colton was threatened. He's a fucking loser. We go to the round table. And Ron says something in a confessional and just says, he hopes people stop letting popularity stop people from believing the truth. And I was like, I think between him saying that, and again, unfortunately, Michael saying there's ringleaders in here and there's not ringleaders in here, are the two things that are summing up the way these people are playing this game, is that everybody's going after the vocal people, like following the vocal people. And it's a popularity contest at this point. It's like, if you don't like the person, Mora clearly hates Ron. She clearly hates Ron, and she will not hate Ron until he's out of the house. She also hated Michael. Everybody hated Michael. Michael's out of the house. He did that to himself, but it is just like kind of like, can you guys just like play the game?
Yeah, like I think they're playing the wrong game because I think they're playing the wrong game. It's a vote out game, and that's not what we're here for. And this would be very entertaining if it was like one of those social experiments, but it's not that, And it's just you hate to see it, even in his roundtable. Like I feel like obviously Tiffany made a plethora of mistakes, but like there was not a lot of facts. Like we even heard Christian say later on in the night, I only voted Tiffany because everyone else voted Tiffany, and I got like startled and then convinced. And it's like, all right, they said everyone Tiffany, but what were the actual facts? That Eric has magic hearing ears and he makes music, so he knows someone's laugh, or Ron has he knows what light footsteps sound like. Like this is how unserious these faithful are, because they're not actually doing any investigating, and the ones that aren't really saying anything. There's people who are actually could make some strides, like Kristen and Natalie, but they're playing this game like it's Survivor or something, that they're not telling everybody other than like 1 to 2 people. It's very tough to like watch this game go down. But hey, what do I know? Like previous seasons, people will call this amazing gameplay because they're following behind like a Phaedra or something. Like or Sandra. Remember Sandra's like playing with the Traitors, like listen, I've always been consistent on this. I know a lot of other podcasts aren't. I hate when people are like throwing on purpose or like.
Oh yeah, me too.
Can't stand it. I don't care if it equals longevity. Like you guys are actively making horrible decisions, and there's still 3 traitors in here. Like let's get it together. Because yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. It feels like you're almost disincentivized from doing anything, which is almost why, not to totally verge off to another topic, but like why sometimes I don't really love watching Survivor or shows like that, where if you play hard, people will come after you and you'll go home, and you get disincentivized from having strong or smart gameplay. Like you have to sit and wait until the time is perfect. And it's kind of this meta game where just don't do anything, because if you talk, you're going to get in trouble. And then it's like, well, that's not fun to watch. We want people to play the game. We want to watch people play the game. We don't want to see loud and wrong Colton driving every vote until Colton goes home, and then someone else stepping in that spot, and then that person going home. I mean, it happened last season was a little egregious because Boston Rob just murdered everybody who said his name, which you really don't see that. But at least that was entertaining because it's like, he's not doing this again. And he did it every time. And the traitors hated each other. Like there was more going on there. But this season, it just feels like it's a little bit.
Well, that's okay because he was a traitor. These are faithful doing faithful and faithful crime here.
And the
like this
traitors just have to sit back. They don't have to do anything.
They don't even have to do anything. It's annoying.
Yeah, it is totally annoying. Colton comes in hot at this round table and says, Tiffany, you're the traitor I'm going after tonight. He thinks he's big and bad here, but I don't know if you caught that his voice was shaking this whole time, especially after Tiffany went back at him and she said that, she's smarter than him, the smartest person there. And he was like, well, I don't know how to spell your name. So he was like literally shaking. And I was like, if you weren't ready for it, you shouldn't have done it, because it's actually embarrassing, like how his voice was.
A guy like him, his biggest fear is a woman of color, because
it's true.
I'm just saying, like,
it's true.
He's probably ready to bug up to anybody else but that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Same with Kristen, same with whoever, Portia, whatever. Like he wasn't ready for that.
Exactly. So he said, I struggled to have one solid name to Tiffany because she came up with 3. And she said, well, you're struggling today because you're wrong, but go ahead. And then Jam got involved. This was an entertaining roundtable, I will say. Tiffany held her own. She did do a thing that is my number 1 pet peeve on reality TV, is I really need the money, and using that as a reason to stay on the show. I hate when people play games and say, I really need the money. It's a valid strategy. Do it. You probably do need the money. I'm not questioning that. But if you got on the show.
I did see she started a GoFundMe, but I feel what you're saying. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. And like,
regardless,
play the game.
I fully get what you mean. I mean, if it's truly strategy, last ditch effort, whatever. But
it's not a strategy
I
I like. I think it comes up a lot in, when people are like, oh, I have to lie about my career because people might think I don't need the money. It's like, listen, you got on the show. Everybody should come in the show on a clean slate, regardless of what your situation is back home, and you should play the game. This is not like who needs the money more, so let's keep them. This is Traitors, so let's just play the game, which, I get it, but I just don't love that. Pet peeve in general in games for me.
Right.
And Ebony said in the chat too, like, has really needing the money ever saved anyone on a show?
It got Adam Klein a whole bunch of money, so yeah.
It got Mike White to lose the game, unfortunately, against Nick, which was
got Jeremy Collins to win. Listen, that has gotten people.
Yeah, Survivor. It feels like it has more of an impact for sure. Yeah. Probably because it's $1 million, but you don't want to give a millionaire another million, right? But yeah, I don't love that. But unfortunately, Tiffany did not come out on top here. She had some good lines, though. I'm not going to read them all, but I do love that she said Tiffany. She spelled her name like the brand or like the company. Mora and Ron go back and forth here a little bit. I don't like Mora's gameplay. I liked Mora coming into this. I think she's just like a little catty and a little bit like she's doesn't know what she's doing, so she's just being mean. And I'm like, well, if you're mean for a reason, be mean, but you're being mean to this guy for like literally no reason. You just hate him from day one for some reason. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But Eric was the final nail in Tiffany's coffin because he brought out the song or his musician career and the laugh and said he's 99% sure it was Tiffany. And that 1% came in because I'm sure it was Candace that laughed at his joke. And which is, I don't know why anybody would, why did she laugh? Like, what are you doing? Why are you making any sound at all? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm shocked that it went that deep. I didn't think they actually had them out there when they did those. I always thought it was like stunt double, so I think that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. But unfortunately, Tiffany gets sent home, and it's really Eric's fault. Everybody says it was what Eric said and not what Colton said that got them to vote Tiffany out.
No, they were going to vote her the moment Colton said something. I just think Eric just sweetened the deal because everyone likes Eric. But they are both dummies and they look stupid because he was like, I'm 99% sure I have magic ear. Like, they were voting Tiffany before that.
I listen to music. I'm a musician. My ears. Yeah.
And I'm sure he's a very nice guy. So, like, I'm not calling him stupid, but he sounded stupid. So, I hate it when people pass off something like they are so sure. Like, you better not miss this shot because, in my opinion, after that shot, I would never trust anything you say in terms of evidence for the rest of the season. And obviously, Colton got a slap on the wrist because of the Michael stuff.
Barely.
But he is cooked the moment that he tries to lead another vote against someone again. And I would never listen to Eric again. I would never listen to him again. He does not know what he's talking about.
What I will say about Eric is that at least it feels like he put that out there. He heard a laugh. He was wrong. Fine. Colton went on literally nothing, zero evidence. Colton just says things, but doesn't actually have any reason to. The only shred of evidence he had, and we'll talk about it in the next episode, is what he said about Michael and all the people who voted for him going home. Like, okay, fine. But I really don't even think at that point he believed Michael was a traitor. I think he just had something to say that was based in some sort of reality. At least Eric heard something, but he was wrong and he took a step back and he felt bad. Colton is just like, right after that, throwing in other people's names. It's like he didn't even take a breath to stop. He doesn't care that he was wrong. He just kept going. Like, no signal in your brain to tell you, like, oh shit, maybe I came in this a little too cocky. This is harder than I thought. So I'm going to just like take a minute and really observe. Nope. He just kept going, kept pushing hard. And I'm like, why again is Ron still getting punished for this Portia thing where he had clear, blatant evidence when Colton had zero evidence and is just like continues to be loud and wrong?
Because it's the cool kids club. Like, literally, there's
privilege.
Not much difference between Eric and Colton's games and Ron.
Zero.
It's just that people don't like Ron and people like Colton and Eric. Like, they're literally,
it's worse.
All three of them
Colton's
are just
worse than Ron.
Yeah. And all three of them are literally just throwing darts at the board, hoping to hit something because no one else is talking at these round tables. And they're just deciding that Ron is the bad guy. Ron, Eric, and Colton all try to lead votes and all got the wrong person voted out. but they're only on Ron's back about it, which is crazy.
Right.
Michael tried
It's
to say
crazy.
something about it, but they made their minds up. So it's like,
I know.
it's
It's kind of wild. It's wild. I think obviously it's definitely popularity. I think based on this very limited snippet of how we're watching Colton play this game, it's no surprise to me that he's never taken accountability for any of the things he's done in his past to his ex and the harassing behavior and tried to throw it under the rug of, oh, I just came out and my life before this was all something that it shouldn't have been and whatever, and never took accountability. He takes accountability for nothing in a game, so I'm not surprised he doesn't take any accountability for anything in his real life. And then he's going back and forth with Sandra on chat BCC and then leaves the chat.
I wonder
Instead
if he
of
shows
sitting there
up
and
to the
taking it.
reunion. Is he showing up to the reunion
He'll show up.
at this point?
He needs the
I'm
camera time.
curious.
He's probably
Curious to see.
contractually obligated to show up, I would imagine, but I'm sure he also wants the camera time and like the appearance fee.
Interesting.
But ridiculous.
Yeah.
Colton sucks. That's it. This is where Michael says there's ringleaders in here and there's not ringleaders in here. I was surprised at how emotional Tiffany got. I'm sad. I'm sad that we're losing all of our fun gamers. I'm sad that we lost Rob. Well, we lost Ian. We didn't even get a chance to like see Ian play. We lost Ian right away. We lost Rob so early. He had so much promise. We lost Tiffany and she's trying to play, and now we're stuck with these flops. So it's really disappointing.
Yeah. It sucks for us because we're Big Brother fans. So like, I didn't really get to experience the Big Brother players, and Natalie's cool, Jam Jam's cool, but like I really wanted to see Rob from Survivor. So like,
Me too.
me being the Survivor Big Brother fan, it's like all the people that I came here excited to see are unfortunately gone, and this feels like, I know it's not just Bravo, but this is like Elseworld. Like this is not my my stomping grounds. I don't know a lot of these people. This is like a newbie season of reality TV to me. So it's like, okay, whatever. But like, yeah.
I kind of agree. I feel like the last few seasons of Traitors had more, even if they were Bravo or gamers like outside of that world, I still was familiar with more of them. And this is just a lot of random people that I'm like, I don't know Eric. I don't care about Tara or Johnny. Like I know them from the 90s
like,
or whenever
who is Mark?
Yeah, like he's nobody. He's just there. He's on TV. He's just there with some hair floating around. He's like not doing anything. So even like if you're a Dancing with the Stars fan, is he exciting? Are you excited about watching him? He's not doing anything. Like these people are all kind of flops. So it's disappointing. So in the turret, they're debating on who to go after. They decide that Ron and Michael and Jam Jam are off the table because everybody suspects them of being traitors, which is not bad. And Candace does share here that Monet said Lisa's name when no one else was around. And unfortunately, we wake up the next morning and Monet has been murdered. Another fun personality who's rational, who's a good game player, it seems like, who has instinct for these kind of things, voice of reason in the room, no longer with us, got murdered.
No, Monet didn't really get to do anything, but Monet is probably the best, with the limited time we see Monet, the best like setup position-wise, like drag race person that we've seen. Like Monet was in the mix, like not being targeted, and hey, that was a good kill if you ask me. Because it
was a good kill.
Yeah, it was a great kill, and for everyone but Candace, it was a great kill. So very unfortunate,
and everyone but us, because I think that's another person who was playing the game that now is out, and we're stuck with these kind of like sad losers. But yeah, totally bad kill for Candace. Great kill for Lisa and Rob, though. I think Monet would have found Rob. Would I do.
Because Candace is a rat, bro. Candace tells everybody everything. Like the moment Lisa and Rob they would have found out immediately. I'm telling you.
Yeah, totally. At breakfast, Dorinda is already starting the morning off talking shit about poor Ron, and Ron just can't catch a break. She's like, oh, he flips the script on people, and then he accuses of being a traitor. And I was like, I actually haven't seen him do that until he does it later in this episode. But I didn't feel like I had evidence of that in the beginning of the season so far until like later on he starts going after Dorinda. Rob comes in, he's wearing his Love Island overalls, which I'm sure everybody was very happy about. He's very famous for those overalls on Love Island. Colton says that he made a bad move. He's going to get some pie on his face. He needs to own it. Next banishment is crucial, but he's like, I'm not going to stop shooting my shot and I'm going to keep going. I'm going hard. And I'm like, give me the confidence of the loud and wrong white man. Like, I'll never know what it feels like. I will literally never know what it feels like to be in that man's position. And I would love to just let it all roll off. I'll never know.
Literally, listen, I'd rather have that than Johnny sitting here talking about I need you at my castle. You're not doing anything. Like, at least he's trying something. I don't like Colton, but I'll at least say he's bringing something to the show where half these people are bringing little dust. You know what I'm saying? I don't like
Well,
Colton,
that is true.
but I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kristen tells us in a confessional that her eyes are now on Colton. He's just going from room to room. He's making big moves, rallying. He's fishy. And I do think, Kristen's wrong, but at least she's trying. So I'll give her that.
Yes.
And I think at least she is clocking that something's off with Colton. Colton is just an asshole. He's not a traitor. He's just an asshole. But at least she's like, something's wrong here. He's not listening to anybody. He's just a dick. That's
I would think Colton's
here. A dick. I would think so too. I would definitely think so. So I don't think it's a bad read. I think it's more of a just Colton's playing a really bad game.
A terrible player.
Terrible player.
But after seeing last season, it's easy to assume he's doing some Boston Rob stuff. Like, I get it.
Yes, totally. And Bob, I feel like Bob, the drag queen, last season too, was more vocal than our traders, at least this season.
Mm-hmm.
So there were Danielle was a crazy ass trader last season. So we had like some crazy traders last season that did very non-conventional trader things. So I don't blame her for thinking so.
Me neither.
Everybody's being rude as hell to poor Ron when he walks in. And if I'm Ron, I'm just like, just vote me out at this point. Like, I'm not winning this game. I don't need to be here. You guys don't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Clearly, you're going to vote me out. He says it, and he said it in the last punishment to Candace, and he's like, either exonerate me or vote me out. But like, you can't keep trying me for the same thing that from the first day. Like, either vote me out or let me play the game. Like, that's it. You have two options. So get rid of me. But Candace would if she could. I'd be like, just murder me. You're not.
The moment they vote out Ron, it's going to be like the wake up call. They're like, we do not know what we're doing by any facet. Like, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad.
It's rough, but they kind of need Ron there too, because the traders do anyway. Because he's still like taking a lot of the heat, and it's a good thing for Candace that she could still keep pointing at Ron, because then otherwise she's going to have to do something else at some point, which is not going to be good for her. Michael seems like he woke up on an interesting side of the bed this morning, and he's got a little bit of a fire under him. He's being a little bit like sassy at breakfast. This is just the beginning, but obviously we'll see what happens later in the episode, because things just go off the rails a little. And the only other thing I have written down about this breakfast is that I feel like I need to try this smoked salmon, because this is like the third episode in a row where everybody's like, oh, no salmon, of course. Anything stick out? Salmon. I don't like smoked salmon, but I'm like, I don't hate it, but I don't love smoked salmon. But I'm interested.
I always go to any other meat but salmon, and it's not like. Let me shut up. Continue. I'm just not a salmon guy.
Interesting.
Okay. Food podcast.
I would totally do a food podcast. Anything else from this breakfast stick out to you? Candace does tell us too that these murders are starting to get to her, which I worry, if I'm reading the edit, that tells me she's going to slip up, because she does like Monet, and she's upset that she voted Monet out.
I don't think she's going. I think she is married to this traitor loyalty bond that she has going on, because she already said she liked Monet, and I'm pretty sure she liked Tiffany and Portia to a degree. I don't really know who Candace's like most like loyal allies are now that are not traitors.
Tara.
Maybe. And that's like grasping at straws, like baseline, I guess. Like she doesn't. She is fully all in with the traders. Just like I feel like, I don't see her trying to defect, but I feel like she's going to get played in her face, and I feel like it's going to really suck. But I feel like she's going to get played.
I think you're right. I think if she could have somehow saved Tiffany, I just think Colton is too much of a force at that round table. At that point, he's got too much of a crew. Tiffany would have been a really good ally for her. Just somehow gotten in there and flipped the vote. But Colton has too much influence, and Eric had too much influence on that vote.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. After breakfast is when Kristen starts talking to a few folks about Colton. And at the end of the last roundtable, or at the beginning of this roundtable, or at the beginning of this day, I don't remember where this took place, but Maura and Michael, you spoke about it too. Were saying like, I felt like I didn't have a choice and I had to vote Tiffany. Like Colton told me who I was voting and I had to do it. I had no choice. And Kristen kind of was saying the same thing, like, he's just telling us what to do. He has no evidence. And this is when he says stuff about Ron. He comes in immediately and he's like, so we're doing Ron again. We're all on Ron. And he starts saying the Mora thing. And I think that's also when he says like, he's not doing anything in the game. He's not doing anything in missions. And Ebony in the chat also brought this up. Like Colton's just an asshole. And like, Kristen did stick up for him and say like, no, he is trying in missions. Like he's trying to play. People just don't like him. He is trying. He's trying to still call out Traitors. He's trying to get evidence. It's just he's not doing it well.
I don't like hyena players because it's like you guys are getting mad at people for actually trying to play the game, even if they suck or they are traitors. Like you're allowing it to happen. You did not have to vote with the majority. I think we even saw Michael, who's still an idiot, vote how he wanted to vote. I think we saw Ron vote how he wanted. Like, there's people. They're not the only two people either. There are multiple people who still voted the way they want to vote. I think that's why. Who's the dude from the challenge that won that one season?
CT.
Was it CT? I liked CT's strategy a lot because he was actively trying to find traitors, but he also voted the way he felt like he should have voted. Groupthink just brings chaos and sheep mentality. Like, exactly. Stop using that as an excuse of, oh, he told us to do this. Then don't do it. You don't have to do it. You know?
Right.
Vote the way you want to vote. That's all.
Exactly. I'm with you 1,000%. And it's just Ron tried his best. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing, playing the game. Like, you gotta let him live a little. So I give it up to Ron. I think it can't be easy. I think this is also, you hear Michael this episode say a lot that he's isolated because of Colton. And they're just doing this thing. Michael's isolated because of himself and nobody wants to be around his crazy ass personality. So like he is a very abrasive, annoying ass person. So I don't really necessarily blame Colton 100% for that. But for the Ron stuff, I think it's like the Coltons and the Moras and all these other people who are like, ew, Ron, like it, like even if he walks into your room, they're like, ugh. So it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I feel bad for these people. Yeah. Michael's activated. He says, maybe it's Colton's night to take some heat because Dorinda's always backing up Michael. So like, maybe they wouldn't let him get a word in and blah, blah, blah. So Ron does call that out and thinks that it's Michael and Dorinda. So Ron's trying to play. So there's now these like, is it Michael group? And then Michael wants to go against Colton, but he still thinks it's Ron. Everybody still thinks it's Ron, but they also think it's Colton. So this is kind of like the theme of this episode. Kristen is starting to throw Colton under the bus to Candace and some other people, which is going to be interesting to watch. She now is sharing her theories, saying he's so busy leading that he forgets that it's a team game. He's using people. She's pulling Candace to the side and saying Colton was threatened by Monet. That's why Monet is gone. So I'm happy that Kristen's picking up and is hopefully going to be like an anti-Colton faction, even if she's wrong. If Colton makes it past this episode, because we don't really know what's going to happen, spoiler alert is that there's no spoiler because we're left on a cliffhanger. If Colton survives, we'll see what happens, but we need some Colton opposition in this house because we don't have any. Michael's gone. We don't have any.
I mean, Kirsten is seeming to be maybe one of the spearheads for that, but she doesn't have much influence, so I don't really know how that's going to go.
I think she could pick up some people. I think if she does have a relationship with Candace could play her faithful game and vote out Colton, and instead of having him be like a very blatant murder, but we'll see what happens. Okay. This mission is interesting. They have to like dig around a fountain to find clues to get statues, but under the more interesting, but that part's not interesting. The interesting part is that under those statues there are shields. And if any single person takes a shield in this mission, then the murder will be canceled and the traitors will not be allowed to commit a murder tonight. So there's a lot of just like running around picking up statues, but there's a lot of talking also about, should we take a shield? Should we take a shield? They're in groups of 4. So for one person to take a shield, you would have to be a little bit cagey about it. but we don't know at the end of the mission if anybody they succeed at the mission, but we don't know if anybody took a shield. And at the last statue, up to the last statue, all of them had one shield underneath them, but the last statue had 4. So like there's a certain point where the whole team could have taken some. Colton was with Rinna and Candace, and they did confirm at the end of the episode that Colton didn't take a shield, but throughout the confessionals, throughout the mission, Colton was talking about wanting a shield. He's like, I'm worried people are taking a shield. Do you think Colton took a shield? If anybody took a shield, it's probably Colton.
I don't think anyone took a shield, and if they did, they would have showed it. And then the big cliffhanger would have been, are we killing Colton? Are we killing somebody else? You know, like
you think so?
I don't think anyone took a shield at all, personally, because with all the groups that were there would have been someone would have been incentivized to tell at least somebody else. Like I don't. They were very like adamant on this like faithful only thing. I don't think Natalie had the balls to do it. Like
I don't think Natalie did it.
I don't think.
I think if anybody did it, I think it's Colton.
If one person took it, everyone would have been talking about it. It would have took all 4 people in one of these groups to all take them, and I don't think any of those 4 groups would have did it. So we would have been heard about it, and it would have been a big talking point at the round table. Like no way. Yeah. Listen, the challenges. I don't think they've ever lost a challenge in all 4 seasons. So they try to make it entertaining, but I always know the end result is they're going to win it. So I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, the ones that they do have to do as a group, I think there's ones obviously where it's like you have to, each individual person has to do a thing. And if they don't do it, then like there's $2,000 isn't going to pot or whatever. But yeah, I agree. And I want somebody to audit that timer, because there's no way you can run that far and carry a thing. Fake. And there's I'm like, give me, what's the real time? Show me the real timer.
It's always out there.
Yeah, but that's not only the show. The challenge is notorious for that too.
Every show does it.
I know. This mission was boring to me personally, so I'm a little bit also annoyed that like we just don't know, is there a murder or not. I just give me one normal, like we were saying earlier, one normal murder where everybody's eligible and we could just have a normal day in the Traitors Castle.
Started doing that like season 3. I don't like all the cliffhangers. It's kind of annoying.
It is annoying, especially if starting next week, there's only gonna be 1 episode a week released. Yeah. The first week there's 3, this week there's 2, this coming week now there's only 1. And if we're doing like 1 a week with cliffhangers every time, it's gonna be annoying.
Yeah, it's fun on a binge, but not on us. Like I'm
not
like, bro,
no.
Well, exactly. Let's get to it.
Right. Or do what the UK does and they release 3 a week, but it's 1 per day. So they do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you only have to wait until the next day. Like do that. After the mission, of course, Ron comes in the room, sits with Dorinda and Steven. It's the most awkward moment so far of the episode until this point, because it gets more uncomfortable. And this is, I think, the most silent as a Real Housewives watcher that I've ever seen Dorinda. She just sits there silently. And then Ron comes in clearly feeling some type of way and says to Dorinda's face, like, oh, I'm 90% on Traitors and it's you and Michael. And I'm like, okay, what are you actually doing though? Like, why do you think this is the right strategy?
Yeah, I don't know why either one of them are here. Like, listen, Ron is such a mess, but I think it's hilarious. But Dorinda, I've been saying this every podcast. Why is Dorinda here? Like, she brings nothing to the show. Nothing. And she's such a random person to bring back as a returnee. I just don't get it. I don't even think she had like a
potential, because she went off on Ivor last season, and she's a crazy asshole on the Housewives. Like she's one of the most unhinged, crazy housewives. So they probably saw potential, but she's just sitting there not doing anything.
She's so boring on the show. Like I can't stand her. Like,
you know why? Because they probably limit their alcohol.
Probably. Hey, I don't care.
He's always drunk.
Please.
Yeah, I don't know. There's unhinged energy happening in this castle after this mission between this conversation. Yes, it's very funny. And then in the kitchen, they're all comparing notes about votes, and this is where Colton is talking about anybody who voted for Michael being gone, except for Jam Jam, who he had the most open feud with. And then Michael walks in and sits down, and then Colton is like, so when Alan comes in the turret at night, is he wearing the same thing that he's wearing during the day? And he does seem to catch Michael like a little off guard, and he's just like, okay, why are you asking me? Like, I wouldn't know. And they're all like, oh, answer the question. Why are you answering his question? What's up, bro? Like, Natalie jumps in. Even Ron is like, answer the man's question. Why is he? And he's like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. And this is when they start going at each other. And Michael's like, you should keep your mouth shut. You're a failed ringleader. And then Michael starts just going around the castle, just be like, Colton's killers, Colton's failed killers. And he just like is like, Colton's starting shit in the kitchen. And then they're talking about Michael again in the kitchen. I think Rob says it's Michael, and Michael walks in and he's like, it's Michael what? And then they just start going off on each other. And it doesn't end there. It feeds right into the round table.
I think Michael did say some facts in the round table because he did this with Tiffany, which is like Colton's strategy is to rage bait someone to do or say something stupid and get them out of character, and then everyone's going to be like, let's vote them out. And it's with this group, it's a really great strategy. He might never admit it, but that's exactly what he's doing. It's classic rage bait. And hey, kudos to him. I think it's a brilliant strategy, especially for people who don't want you in the house. But I don't know. It's just it's kind of like Vanessa from Big Brother. I don't like watching villains who don't understand or admit that they're the villain. Like please. You know what I'm saying? That's
the thing. I think for all the other reasons there are on Earth to not like Colton, I think one of the main reasons also why he's so annoying is that he plays the game, or at least we're seeing him framing himself like he's the hero. And I'm like, you actually are the villain in this castle. Michael is as well, but he's off just being loud and annoying. Like, you are the one that's playing the game and you are the villain and getting all the people out.
He owns up to it. He don't care.
Right. Michael knows that he's like annoying. So I don't know. But Michael starts this roundtable off by saying conniving, colluding, commiserating, Colton. They all start with a C. And he keeps just repeating himself. And Rob truly killed me when he was like, oh my God, commiserating does not mean that. It means like you feel sorry for someone. And he's like, it's driving me nuts. And Michael's like, no, it doesn't. And he's like, yes, it does. And Rob is right. It does not mean what Michael thinks it means. And that actually... I did not like Rob on Love Island when I watched his season, but that specific correction on him speaking up and choosing just like the word being annoying that won me over on Rob. I was like, all right, I think I'm a Rob fan now.
Okay.
I thought that was a moment that made me laugh. This whole roundtable is a mess. This is where Michael says the quote that we said earlier, and he said, "You got rid of a good faithful. You should keep your mouth shut. You got rid of a good faithful last night, and I'm angry and I'm pissed off and I'm isolated because of you. And nobody in this room would be better at holding a secret than you," which we talked about earlier, but everybody jumped on it. Regardless of what his intention was, Colton immediately was like, and there it is. And then Johnny spoke up and all these other people in the room spoke up and came to Colton's defense. And I think again, regardless of what Michael's intention was, what bothers me about this is that Colton acts like he's a fragile, like, victim when, like, you're not. You're actually a bully. You've harassed people in real life. You've harassed your ex in real life. You can stand up for yourself, and you don't need to hide behind this veil of, like, victimization because this guy said something to you that was not nice. Because, like, you were saying some not nice things to Tiffany the night before. You came at her pretty hard. Like, now all of a sudden... you can't. I don't know. I don't love any of this.
I got Johnny and the MGM riled up, and then the rest of the women got riled up, and then everyone got riled up. Listen, Michael didn't even need to say anything. He was already going home. But like, I feel like I'm really curious how many people actually like took it that way before Colton said anything, because I personally didn't. But I showed Alana the episode, and at first she came to the same conclusion as me without me even having to say anything. But it was interesting. Her facial reaction, she was like, because like she felt the same way too. She was like, wait a minute. So I'm like,
wait, what was your first conclusion?
What, me or
what
her?
was her first? Well, you said if she.
So she was shocked. This is her first episode watching. She was like, but she was following along. She was like, because like she was like, oh, you said like some crazy stuff. And then as the fight went on, she was like, I don't think he meant it like that. But like that was her initial reaction too. So like I'm genuinely curious how many people before Colton started saying stuff genuinely took it that way, because that was interesting to see a different person's point of view. You know, like I don't know. It really depends on the person. I don't blame anyone from taking it either or. Like I know how I took it, but like it's easy to take it the other way. Michael doesn't do himself any favors. So
exactly. The thing is, for me, I don't know why he would have said that if that's not what he meant by it. But again, I think Michael is already a problematic human being. So he already is coming in from like a negative viewpoint and vantage point. And not only is he problematic in real life, everybody already hated him in the castle. So even if he did not mean that and he just genuinely misspoke, everybody was going to take it that way anyway. So he was fighting a losing battle no matter what.
And just on top of that, it's not just Colton that voted out Tiffany. A lot of people sheeply hopped on that bandwagon. So they by proxy also it pertains to them, and everyone wants to just kind of like gloss over the Tiffany vote being terrible. Let's just jump on Ron. We don't need to talk about how we all voted out Tiffany for no real reason. Like, let's pretend it didn't happen. So that's why they did it. Everyone wants to feel in the in crowd at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, look over there. That thing's happening, so they don't have to think about.
Yeah, we did this, but
they could blame someone else for something else.
Yeah, that's literally all.
And Michael makes it easy. He definitely steps in some shit though with that one. And I think that it just bothers me that Colton shows no remorse on anything and just like fights and fights and fights. Like he's coming from a position where he's right. Like he has no humility. He doesn't say like, yes, I made a mistake. He's not like, I do feel sorry that I took Tiffany out. And even at a certain point, Michael's like, don't you feel bad that you sent that woman sad and alone and like upset at home? And he just like kind of doesn't say anything, where at least I do think Ron showed remorse about the Portia thing. Also, he didn't really have a lot of remorse that he needed to show because Portia said some crazy ass shit that was just wrong. So I don't know. In comes Dorinda talking about Ron saying that he's a housewife hunter and he's just coming after them. And Ron is just like, I don't know who you are. I don't watch your show. I don't know anything about you. And I thought that was funny because that's what Bob, the drag queen, said to Dorinda at the reunion last season, and she lost her shit about it. And I don't know if it was a callback on purpose or not, but it was funny. And then Ron said some shit like, I don't want to know where you live. I don't want to know your family, and my family's none of your fucking business. And I was like, oh, okay, Ron.
Right.
All right, Ron, tell us how you feel.
Right. Listen, I was all here for, the audience loves a good underdog. I don't think Ron is a good underdog, but I think that he's been getting very spicy this episode, and I really think that he just does not like Dorinda. So, look, do what you gotta do, Ron, while you're here for like maybe 1-2 episodes max. Give me entertainment.
He's got to be leaving the next episode.
He's cooked.
There's no way he can make it past that point. And if he does, like, then they need to just look elsewhere and leave this man alone and let him play the game. Ron makes a point though with this where he says like learning about other people creates bias and impedes decision making, which he doesn't think is how he wants to play the game. I don't think that's a bad point, but it is really bad gameplay in a game where you're like in a house with other people. I mean, I know they don't live there, but like you have to, it's a social game.
Right.
You have to talk to people.
I said this at the beginning of the podcast, Ron is not a good player. I'm sorry.
No.
I feel bad for him, but like he actively makes his position worse every episode. So yeah, I don't feel bad.
Right. At a certain point, I think Natalie is just like, can we just all get together and vote out Michael? And they're like, yeah, okay, let's just do it. And they do. They just get together and vote out Michael. Some people vote Ron. I think Candace is still on Ron. There's Dorinda, I think, still voted out Ron. There's a few people that voted out Ron. But Michael goes, he says some like annoying speech I didn't write down. Very Michael speech about how he's like the best looking, smartest, coolest, whatever. He's a faithful as usual. And we lose Michael. He's a villain, but he was entertaining, unfortunately. And some of the messiness of the show just walked out the door.
Yes.
Gives Colton a little bit of a stronger hold against these people, unfortunately.
Very. But listen, we got Kirsten, so hopefully
we do.
The building blocks of something epic.
We do. The one notable thing after this roundtable, the main thing, is that Colton once again, loud and wrong, holding court just moves right on to the next one, which is funny because he said to Tiffany, like, I'm having trouble coming up with one name. Well, it really seems like you're coming up with a lot of names and just saying them to anybody that will listen to you, because now he's on to Lisa, and he's very adamant that Lisa's a traitor, and he's with Dorinda. I think Mora's there, and most importantly, Rob is there. A broken clock is right twice a day, and he is right with this one. And he's just like, why do you think she had the best story about the murders? It's because she watched it 3 fucking times, and she wears sunglasses, and she's not loud, and like at breakfast she was over the top, but at the round table she doesn't say anything. He's right about all of those things. The biggest mistake he made was saying it in front of Rob, and I didn't know where Rob was going to go with this one, but he told Candace and Lisa in the turret that Colton was coming after him. I'm sorry, that Colton was coming after her, and now they want to kill Colton. Do you think it's the right kill if they are able to do it?
No, I think it's a terrible kill because Colton already has sus on him, and they should be riding these people who have so much attention on them like Trojan horses. Once you kill someone like Colton, now it's automatically going to go, let's look at Lisa, because there's a pecking order. And after Ron and maybe Jam Jam, if you're lucky, like you're right next up on the block, Lisa.
Yep.
I that's what I've been saying. I don't think these traders have a lot of strategic prowess. They've just been getting lucky that these faithful are terrible. And I feel like now that they actually have to be traders, we're about to start seeing a lot of bad decisions. So I don't know.
I agree with you. I don't know that Colton
reactionary kill. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it is, and if they can't murder, or if they decide to murder someone else and not Colton, I think actually Eric is probably the better kill, because he's Colton's right hand, and no one's really talked. Eric hasn't said a lot since the wrong Tiffany thing, and I think taking out Eric really weakens Colton and doesn't tie that back to anybody specifically. So I actually think that's the better kill. Or like one of the other guys, like Steven or something, who just like rides with Colton. But I think I lost what I was going to say about it, but I just don't know. What I was going to say is I just don't know that Colton has enough gas in the tank left to like get another one, like get all these people to rally again against someone. Like 2 strikes, are they going to
they'll rally against Ron and maybe Jam Jam.
They'll rally against Ron, but if I think now it's time, like it's been 4 or 5 episodes of Ron's got to go. They've got to get out Ron. Like, just do it. It's going to be a distraction if you don't. It's constantly going to come up. It's going to take attention away from the traders if you don't get out Ron. But I think Lisa, if she can come up with a strategy, which I don't know if she can, to get some heat off of herself, like I don't know that Colton will get the traction, especially after like making so many mistakes.
It's only time will tell.
Yeah. We'll see. But that's where we end. We'll find out. We did see in the trailer that there's a surprise coming for next week, and there's like someone taking like a brooch or a pin out of a box. So I'm like, is someone coming in?
Secret trader or
I'm
something.
tired of this. I don't want any more twists.
You don't want to see that one girl from Selling Sunset come back for the millionth time? Kate?
She's from Below Deck. I'd rather have Kate back again than
hell no. I'm so good off of her. She brings nothing to the table. But
are we getting someone back? Do we think we're getting someone back?
I didn't hear anything, but I would like it
either.
I avoided spoilers, so
me too.
I would love to see a Big Brother person come in the house. I would love that.
Bring back Rachel.
I mean, sure. I mean, I want to see someone.
If you're bringing people back,
bring someone that hasn't played. Like, you know how like Derek and Rob and Derek, Rob, and Wes. Like, bring me someone that like has played one of these shows I'm familiar with that like I was not expecting to like show up in this. You know?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I don't know if they would bring in like a net new player halfway through the season, because next week is episode 6. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe someone who left already can come back and have another try. I have no idea, but I guess we'll have to see.
What if we're lucky? The killed players were secretly at a sequestered house doing challenges to come back from the dead.
Oh my god, that's very
Rob
challenge. That's very challenge redemption house coded.
It's not happening.
No, I was gonna say I don't think Rob would have done like a 3-hour deep dive if he was back on the show. No. Justice for Rob. Wish we got to see more. Maybe there'll be an all-star season and he can go back. Maybe he'll be the Dorinda of next season and go back again. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
You never know. Any last thoughts? Any hopes for next week? Any predictions?
Hopefully we get better episodes. This was I'm not saying they were bad, but it felt like a slog to get through, and like
Yeah.
I'm so tired. It just went from like negativity to a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, this is really how we're ending the week. Like it felt like a crappy week, and then you got social media up in the ante. It's
Right.
like, I want some entertainment. I want more entertainment.
I like mess, but give
like
it to me on House
entertaining
of Villains. Give it to me on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Give it to me on something where there's not like a very
I like Traitors
clear-
mess.
I like Traitors mess if it's gameplay mess, but this is
Carolyn
just
and
like they're
Danielle
all
was
bad.
great.
Yeah, but that was like game based, so that's why it was fun. Like this is
Yeah.
just not fun. It doesn't feel fun.
Yeah.
You're right. It feels like negativity.
Colton
and,
ruined
like,
the
weird.
show, bro. I'm telling you, Colton ruined
the show.
the momentum. And then
We
these
all thought Michael
eliminations
was going to
didn't
be the
help.
big bad, but it was always Colton all along.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Really, Donna Kelsey ruined the show.
Dorinda ruined the show. Okay. Anyway, what about Michael telling Alan Cummings, "No, I won't be quiet"?
Yeah, I don't know. He's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Sad. This season is not great. I think U.S. Traitors needs some. I don't know. There's something off about the formula of this show that like doesn't always hit for me. It's fun. I enjoy
celebrities. Let's go
It's
back
the
to
celebrities.
civilians.
I can't wait. They're casting. Everybody get your tapes in. Let's get some fun game players that actually want to play the game and that aren't on just the appearance fee. And we'll get some fun.
You know what's the problem?
Traitors.
We're running out of OGs to come to the show, and we're entering new school player like realm, and I'm just like
I know. I don't know who their casting pool is going to be next season, but I think we're ready. Season 5 is going to be, I think, maybe an All Stars, or like half returnee celebrities, half.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe
we'll see. Season 5 feels like the right time to do like returnees.
Right.
We'll see. We will see. Any last thoughts before you're on to your next commitment of the evening?
Nope. I gotta go. This is a fun
right.
podcast, though.
This is fun.
It.
Always love talking Traitors, whether it's a good season or not. It's always fun. Thank you guys for being in the chat with us. Drop a follow. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see all of our handles everywhere. Just search Silent Podcasts. We're the only one. We're the only real one anyway. If you search it and it's not us, don't follow them. Follow us instead. And leave us a review if you like what you heard. 5 stars only, please, because you can only rate us one time. So save it if you haven't heard anything 5-star worthy, which would be shocking by now if you've been listening to us and you haven't. Again, I don't know how to take this off. There we go. Figured it out. It only took how many weeks? Isaiah, where can the people find you? You just went from one podcast to another. So drop a plug on what you were just working on.
Yeah, you can find me at 8 Ball Bengals and everything. And on here, Silent Podcast, I just started covering Fear Factor, House of Fears. We call it House of Silence with Ganjo and Cheyenne. And our fellow silent podcaster, Lance Richards, is on the season, and he is a star and starting a bunch of chaos. So I love it.
Ugh, I had no doubt we would get anything but star power
he's
from
been
Lance.
Great. He's been great.
I haven't caught up.
Oh, let me shut up. I'll be quiet. There's only one episode out.
Only one? Okay. I was traveling, so I didn't see it.
It's great. It's 1 hour. They get you in and get you out. It was good. Watch Fear Factor on Fox. But yep.
Great. You can find me on Blue Sky at realslimkatie.bluesky.social. I'm skeeting about the Traitors with an occasional football post in there, here and there. Crazy postseason, crazy hires happening. So, got to throw a little football thoughts in there every now and then too. But that's really it. That's all I'm up to. And you can find us here. We'll be back to our Friday schedule. I had some personal travel stuff happening last week. So we'll be back. Javier will be joining us, I believe, again on Friday. So you'll see your normal crew once again talking about episode 6 on Friday. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all those good things. So you're here with us. Thank you for all your comments in the chat. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.